Attention everyone, it is Thursday, September 13th. This is episode 54 of the Daily Comic. I'm Jimmy Bird. This is a show in which I read one comic book a day, then come here and tell you what I thought about that comic. Today's selection was Mystery Science Theater 3000. Number 1, Mystery Science 3000, Mystery Science Theater 3000, the comic, issue 1, put out by Dark Horse Comics. Netflix show. Now this is where I kind of scratched my head. To begin with, I'm a big fan of the classic Mystery Science Theater 3000. A big fan. I remember seeing it and just being enthralled. Like, what is this weird little show? And thinking I was the only one as a youngin' who knew what this show was, and then finding a couple people that did like it. At a time in high school, this show was on for some reason at 4 o'clock, and so me and a couple friends would watch it after school at their house, and you could start, if you watched it enough, you could start connecting the jokes between the episodes, and we're like, holy crap, this is amazing. So I loved the classic. I own a bunch of the box sets, the collections of it, but again, full disclosure, I wasn't too excited about the new series on Netflix. Just once I saw the cast, I know it's really exciting to have something you love back, and it's a very simple premise. You just watch bad movies and riff on them and make jokes. That's a really cool premise. I just haven't sat down and watched the new ones. I'm sure they're great. Nothing against them, but to me, that was my childhood, and I will watch the old ones over and over again before I even pick up the new ones. There's probably ones I haven't seen yet from the old series, starting off on cable access, into Comedy Central, into Sci-Fi, into all that jazz. So, with that being said, that's my history of Mystery Science Theater. I'm a big fan, again, of the show, the classic show, and the premise. Here we have the new characters from the Netflix version. Again, nothing bad, nothing against those guys, but those guys came in and had the show. Now, again, my first thought coming into this was like, oh, great. The whole premise of the television show is that they watch bad movies and make jokes about them. You know, kind of like, you and your friends sitting around and, making fun of bad movies. How do they translate that into the comic books? So we're going to get 5 or 6 issues of just them and Miss Zany Adventures on the Satellite of Love, which is the name of their spaceship. But we didn't get that. I'm actually pleasantly surprised with the premise of this. The basic thing is they take what they do with movies and they do it with comics. So for some reason, they get zapped into old classic comics, and now they're inside these storylines. And from inside the storylines, they get to riff on what's unfolding before them. Classic comic stereotypes and stuff like that. That, to me, is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I enjoyed this more than I thought I would. Like I said, I'm a big fan. But I'm also thrown at the idea that why is Netflix, who literally just bought Millarworld, Netflix bought their own comic book company, owns a comic book company, and Mystery Science Theater, and later this month, Stranger Things, both Netflix properties are coming out on Dark Horse Comics. Now, that's insider politics alone. The point of this is, this was a really enjoyable comic. It's fun. If you're a fan of the show, okay, you're going to like this a lot. Again, it takes the simple premise. These guys who riff on movies are zapped in the comics and now are riffing on comics and all the stereotypes and all the funny things from the classic 50s, 60s, 70s comics. We're going to see them kind of going on this fun journey, making fun of that. And we get to laugh along with them. It's not making fun of, they're not laughing at you, they're laughing with you. And I think that's part of the fun. So if you're a comic book fan, you're going to like this. If you're a Mystery Science Theater fan, you're going to like this. If you're not a Mystery Science Theater fan, I would suggest skip this for now and go back and watch some of the classic shows with Joel Hodgson and all those great Tom Servo, Crow, and Gypsy. Watch the show. It's a lot of fun. It doesn't take a lot of brain power to watch it, and that's my suggestion. But yes, if you're a fan of the show, you're going to love this comic. If you're not, watch the show first, and then it'll all be a lot more fun. So that's my take on Mystery Science Theater 3000 Issue 1. What did you think of the comic if you read it? What should I read next? I love hearing your comments. I know there's a few of you that have been dropping comments. I'm going to try to get to them as much as I can. I actually had a gentleman drop off a comic today to me in the store specifically to read and to do a review on, as for some reason it just got darker here in Daily Comic Studios. I'm going to end on that note. Guys, like, subscribe, share, put it all over your Facebook, put it all over the internet. Let's get famous together, and I'll see you tomorrow with another comic. Have a great night.